You come in the morning expecting to do a job like a timing belt. You leave this running over, well, not leave it running overnight, but in the last video, running perfect. Now, it won't fucking start. Great. Yes, we are back on this one and only world's first electronic CX Citroen, electronic ignition with that particular style of distributor. But before we start, what we have to do is we're going to have to raise up the suspension again to make sure it's fully up. And what we are going to be doing is the timing belt sorted. Hello and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. Yes, we are going to be doing the timing belt on this 1979 Citroen CX 2 litre. So there's a few things I've got to do first. Like I explained, lift it up and do all that. But I'm going to take a few things off camera first, just because it's going to make it easier, and then we're going to get the camera back on. So all the air intake system, we're going to remove all that, just the pipes, the filter housing and stuff like that. Anything else that's kind of in my way, which is not a lot really on this particular side. Then what we're going to do is take the wheel off and remove this cover here. That will allow us to get to the bottom crank, and then we can actually take off the timing belt or the timing case cover. And yeah, so let me just get all that done off camera. I have to charge the battery up because obviously we've got no alternator. Also, as you can see, this is the problem with this particular one, is the fuel's all going back because the lift pump's a bit dodgy. Not that that fuel's going back is an issue, but because the lift pump's a bit dodgy, it's going to take a while to suck it up. So what I am going to do is I'm going to have to tell the customer is we're going to have to get a one-way valve for this and put a one-way valve on. That will stop the fuel going back down. So what that also will do is that will stop the lift pump being a little bit dodgy for the time being, because it will not allow the fuel back, so it will keep it kind of primed to a degree. Because if I was trying to crank this now, this is going to take a while to start because there's essentially no fuel in it. So we're going to get the battery charged up, get it lifted up, and get them few bits off, and then I'll turn the camera back on. Right, let's just see how easy this starts. I have only put my van on it. I haven't revved my van up or anything like that, so it's just ticking over essentially. I haven't primed this, I haven't done anything. So let's just see what happens. This is the problem. If I had a one-way valve in there now, that would have started straight away. You're not going to do it, are you? Right, it's actually just started to pump the fuel in, which is a good thing. So let's see if we can get this fired up now. Like I said, if I had a one-way valve in there, she would have fired up kind of instantly. It's going to be a good thing to put a one-way valve in this. Right, this is really weird. My van's ticking over in the background, so that's why that is to charge up the battery. We left this started from the last video absolutely perfect. There was no problem with it whatsoever. But for some reason now, it's not starting. Got my test lead, and I'm just going to quickly do a few simple checks. There we go. So we've got a good power, because we're earthed onto the body. So let's just earth ourselves onto this. Nope. Kind of kill two birds with one stone, if that's going to stay there. are you? You're not going to stay there, are you? Right, so there we go. We got a power and a ground. I know this is not an LED test light before anyone says anything. What I'm going to do, quickly check to see if there's spark coming out of the actual... I'm trying to think. Yeah, so we're going to check for spark first. Right, this is a bit crude, but I haven't got 3 hands. So, see there, and let me just touch this off. Ah, what am I doing? What a tit! Ah, I'm going to leave that in the video, that's quite funny. I meant to put it here. Now, I'm going to have to move this slightly off so we can get a spark. It is sparking, but you might not be able to see it on camera. There we go. You can see that. So we're getting spark out there and we're getting power. So that's good. What I do want to check is I want to check this here to make sure we're getting spark. It's not the lead that's the issue. So again, let me try and set this up somewhere kind of half decent. Right, that's away. You can see that is a great spark coming out there. So we know we haven't got an issue with the lead. Let's check the HT leads. Again, I haven't got this set up great, but hopefully what the hell? Oh, fucking hell. That just started going on its own. Anyway, we're getting spark there. But why is that now doing that? We must have a stuck relay or something. Oh. Right, very simple finger test. I can feel this relay is warm. So, I'm kind of betting that this is maybe the starter relay. So if I put all that back on. Nope, it's not. But that relay is very warm. Why is that relay warm? No, it's not the start, mate. That relay's a bit warm too. Let's put that over to there. Yeah, that's the relay. Stuck relay. Oh, the joys. Just stick that back on there, let it charge up. What I'm going to do next is, it's a fuel issue. Even though we've got fuel here, I don't know if the fuel's got contaminated or anything. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We're going to take off this and see down the carburetor, see if we can see anything. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can see any fuel start or any fuel squirting down there. This is going to be a little bit dodgy because we've obviously got an issue now with the starting system and I need 3 hands. I shouldn't really be filming this, but let's see if we can see any fuel. Right, the pluck actually thickens. What I'm actually doing now is I'm manually pumping the fuel in. So what happens is when you actually press the throttle pedal, this little thing actuates and it squirts the amount of fuel in depending on how much you actually press the throttle in. And I don't know how good I caught the camera with it, but hopefully you can see it actually squirting in. So we know we're getting fuel. I also put some easy start in there because I wasn't sure if it was contaminated, and it didn't start on easy start, which brought me straight back to spark because we knew we were getting air and we now know we're getting fuel, even though the plugs looked a little bit dry, but we can see we're getting fuel now. And I didn't go for the spark plug straight away because when I put the new ones in, the car started for me loads of times. I didn't really think anything of it, but now after seeing this and after the easy start test, I went straight back to my spark plugs and then we found the issue. You can see the fuel going in, and when I was doing this the car still didn't start even when I was manually putting the fuel in. So straight back to the plugs and then let's see what the problem is. Right, this really wasn't making very much sense to me. I couldn't work it out. It didn't seem to be getting any fuel in here. They all seemed dry. But yet the car started perfectly yesterday. But I was thinking then, hold on a second, it started when it was warm. So I took out the plugs again and I just measured them up again. And as you can see, if I just get this a lot better, We're talking that. Oh, come on. Why can't I do this on camera? Anyway, they're slightly longer here. So then I said, well, do you know what? Let me just put them all in. And now, once I put this one back in, we're going to now see if anything else happens. It might not look a lot on camera, but believe me, it's a good bit. And I took the HT leads off, and these plugs just seem to fit better than these. So I don't know if this was just literally on by the skin of its teeth, but enough spark to keep the engine when it was warm, but when it was cold, maybe not enough. Anyway, let's put this last one in and then we'll see. Right, so I've got them in, and let's have a look again. Wow, wow, fucking hell, what? Oh, unbelievable. And it just didn't make sense. We had power here, we had spark, so we knew we had power and spark. We've got air. What really confused me is I put easy start down here, just a little bit, just because I knew if I could get easy start down here straight, you know, straight to it, even though we was pumping fuel in, I thought, well, maybe the fuel's contaminated, you know, because it's been sat a while, there could be water, and anything could have happened to the fuel, because petrol also does go stale a bit. And I squirted easy start down there. I didn't film it, but it did nothing. Easy start with fuel, with spark, should have done something. It should have attempted to start, but there was absolutely nothing in it, which is really unusual. So with everything off here now, this might, I don't know if it will start, it might run very bad, but let's just see if it will start. I might just need to get in the car because there's maybe too much air coming in here now. Can I just kind of put this back on even a little bit just to help? Right, let me get in the car. Kind of pump the throttle here a little bit. Yeah, she's going to start. I'm just going to make sure I've got all them leads in, because this is definitely a million times better now. Right, I haven't got it on properly in the sense of all the vacuum lines are still off, so this might run a bit rough. But I've got all 4 plugs in now. Yeah. It's missing. Obviously I haven't got one of the plugs on properly, but look at that, started straight away. What a fucking nightmare. Oh! Right, I didn't have one of the leads on properly. Even with them other plugs, it's still a bit dodgy. I must have just been lucky yesterday, just had them on enough to start it when it was warm. I'm going to have to trim up the boots a little bit on the HT leads and put the other proper spark plugs back in, or the newer ones, not the proper ones, but they are better. But like I said, I haven't got all the vacuum lines, but listen to that. Start straight away. And yeah, just a million times better. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Right, trimmed up the boots, done everything I needed to do, and the airline's not, oh, the intake's not on properly, but I've kind of just screwed it down, put a couple of the pipes on, so this should be a lot better. Yeah, instantly. That sounds good. It's ticking over. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. I just came today to do a timing belt on this and film it and think, yeah, it's going to be not a problem. It's going to take a while, but it's not going to be an issue. Ended up crank no start. I mean, and essentially kind of my doing. Unbelievable. But I mean, listen to that now. It sounds as sweet as a nut. It just goes to show, check everything. What I like about this is good old-fashioned mechanics. No computers, no nothing. You have to find the problem. You don't, even though, don't get me wrong, a computer doesn't tell the problem, it just gives you an idea. But you can see very simple tools, step by step. It's kind of obvious. Right, so what do you need for an engine to start? Providing the time and everything is okay, you need fuel, air and spark. Very simple. We obviously had air because we took off that, so we know there was no blockage. We had spark because we checked the spark. And it was fuel because the leads were actually dry. But, or the plugs were dry, but as it turns out, no it wasn't. It was spark. Changed the old plugs and fired straight up. Then we realised the plugs were slightly longer than the other ones, so we needed to trim up the little boots. And there we go. It sounds as sweet as a nut. It's done. Crank no start. Boom. So there we go. Another video I wasn't expecting to make. Oh, anyway, it is what it is. We fixed it. It's sorted. We're not going to have an issue with that. We can now do the timing belt, but I've got to go off on a breakdown now. So I should be back hopefully in an hour or so. And then we're going to get cracking on with the timing belt on this. And anyway, it is what it is. So as always, hope it helps. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Don't forget, links up here, links down below. But most importantly, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.